All right, here's the thing. A lot of parents hear the words ABA therapy and they're like, what even is that? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it just for autism? And honestly, I get it because there's a lot of noise out there.
Right, totally. And that's exactly why we wanted to talk about this today, because, like, if you're a parent trying to figure out what's best for your kid, it can feel super overwhelming. So today we're breaking it down in a way that's simple, clear, and real.
Before we dive in, let me just quickly say this podcast is for educational purposes only and not a substitute for professional advice. And today's podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Kids ABA, providing personalized in-home ABA therapy, parent support, and school consultation for families across Colorado. Learn more at kiwikidsaba.com. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Kristin. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Like, where did ABA even come from? So ABA stands for Applied Behavior Analysis, and the word applied just means it's about real-life situations, not just like theory in a book. The focus is on understanding behavior, why kids do what they do, and then teaching new skills in a way that makes sense to them.
Yeah, and I think the history part is super important because sometimes parents hear that ABA is like this brand new thing, or on the other side, that it's outdated, but actually it started back in the 1960s with researchers like Dr. Ivar Lovaas. Now, the early stuff, let's be honest, was really strict, really repetitive, and not always respectful of kids' feelings. And parents today hear about that and they're like, no thank you, which I don't blame them.
Exactly, but here's the thing. That was 60 years ago. A lot has changed since then. Modern ABA is way more about play, choice, and positive reinforcement. It's not about forcing kids. It's about finding ways to support them so they can build independence and confidence.
And when we say reinforcement, just to make that like really parent-friendly, it just means rewarding the behavior you want to see more of. Like if your kid hangs up their backpack after school, you might say, hey, awesome job putting your bag away. That little bit of praise makes it more likely they'll do it again.
Right, and it's not always candy or stickers or stuff like that. Sometimes it's your attention, sometimes it's play, sometimes it's just that high five. So it's actually very natural. You're probably already doing pieces of ABA without realizing it. So let's talk about the evidence part, because that's a big question for families. Like, does this actually work, or is it just another trend?
Yeah, and honestly, it's a fair question. The thing is, ABA has been studied for decades. We're talking hundreds of research studies, not just one or two. And the results keep showing that ABA helps kids learn important skills. Things like communication, daily living, social skills, even reducing behaviors that are unsafe.
Exactly. And I think one of the reasons Medicaid and a lot of insurance companies cover it now is because it's evidence-based. That means it's backed up by science, not just somebody's opinion.
Right. And we're not saying ABA is a magic wand, because it's not. It's a tool, and how it's used really matters. Like if a therapist is tailoring it to your child's strengths, if they're involving you as the parent, if they're keeping it fun, that's when you really see progress.
And progress can look super different for each kid. For one child, it might be learning how to brush their teeth independently. For another, it could be asking for help instead of melting down. And for some kids, it's things like playing a game with a sibling or even ordering their own food at a restaurant.
Oh, I love that example, because it's those everyday wins that really change family life, right? Like you're not aiming for perfection, you're aiming for your child to feel more confident and for home life to feel calmer.
Okay, so now we gotta get into the tricky part. Misconceptions. Because if you Google ABA therapy, you'll see both really positive stories and really negative ones.
Totally. One big misconception is that ABA is just about making kids act normal. And that's not the goal. The goal is to support kids in communicating, learning, and being more independent while respecting who they are. ABA today is much more about building on strengths.
Yeah. Another misconception is that ABA is all about bribing kids with candy. But like we said earlier, reinforcement is just anything that motivates your child. Sometimes that's a snack, but more often it's attention, praise, or access to something they love, like time on the swings or listening to music.
And let's also clear this one up. ABA doesn't mean sitting at a table for hours doing drills. It can look like play, like practicing skills while baking cookies or working on sharing during a board game. The key is it's woven into real life.
Exactly. I've even seen ABA strategies used during grocery shopping or getting ready for bed. It's flexible, not rigid.
And one last thing, ABA is not only for kids with autism. It's true that it's most often used for autism because that's where the most research is, but the principles like teaching step by step, using reinforcement, breaking down big tasks, those can help any child learn.
So let's give parents listening a couple of really practical things they can try at home that come straight from ABA but are super simple.
Okay, first thing, use a first then statement, like first homework, then tablet. It helps kids know what to expect and it makes transitions way smoother.
Yes, and another one is give really specific praise. Instead of just saying, good job, you can say, I like how you shared your toy with your brother. That makes it clear what behavior you want to see again.
And honestly, those little shifts can make such a difference. You don't have to overhaul your whole parenting style. You just add these tools into what you're already doing.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate the small wins. Progress might feel slow sometimes, but every step forward is worth noticing.
Thanks for listening to The Kiwi Nest by Kiwi Kids. Remember, the information shared here is for educational and informational purposes only. It should not be taken as medical, behavioral, or therapeutic advice for your child. Every child is unique, so please consult with a licensed professional or your healthcare provider for guidance tailored to your family's needs. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not replace individualized care.
And we'll be back next time with more parent-friendly strategies and real talk. Until then, hang in there. You're doing amazing.